Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 448. It is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, as I record this episode of the Gaia's Love podcast. It has been a minute. The weather today is gray here in Cincinnati. It is warm, but not hot. We're in that mucky spring weather that happens here in the Midwest. I am returning from a beautiful week of vacation. We spent some time in St. Louis, and then we went to Disney World. And so I am arriving here with all of this energy of movement and activity and landing and centeredness. It is good to be back in the space with you. Why am I creating a podcast today after almost 6 months of not having a podcast? Because today Pluto moved into Aquarius, and it is the beginning of a shift of consciousness that is so good, is so exciting. And I just felt like I had to come into the space of Gaia's Love and bring it forward, share some of my reflections about this energy and what's shifting, and yeah, tune in with you. It's been a while. What has happened in your world in the past 6 months? Can you believe time goes that quickly? It doesn't feel like I just recorded that episode and now here we are. That was October 7th, 2022. When I re-listened to it, it was full moon in Aries, and Pluto was going direct in Capricorn after being retrograde, I think, for a little while. And now here we are, full moon in Aries to new moon in Aries on Tuesday, just of this week, beginning a whole new zodiac cycle. Pluto moving into Aquarius and beginning this next adventure that we're going to be in together. I love when the energy and the synchronicities and the alignment are that precise, that specific. And so it feels really good to be here. So welcome back. Good to be in the space. What would I want to begin with? Let's begin with the new moon in Aries, and then we will move to Pluto and Aquarius. And also, you really should look at your astrological forecasters, your wizards in astrology, if you haven't been keeping up over the last month. March is a month of absolute magic. We have 7 conjunctions this month, which I think we normally have 1 or 2. We had Saturn move into Pisces, which means a lot of our understanding of our jobs, our definitions of what our careers are shifting and morphing. We completed the zodiac cycle with Pisces, and we just started a new entire year of zodiac cycle with Aries. This is the first of 2 new moons in Aries this month, and then next month we will do it again. So just with all of that, there was plenty happening. And we'll talk about Pluto in a moment. I hear that song. We'll talk about Bruno. You don't want to know about Bruno. No. You do want to know about Pluto in Aquarius. If you've seen Encanto, you'll know that song. Let's talk about Bruno. Is that what it's called? Let's talk about Bruno. No. All right, new moon in Aries. There's so much to say. There's so much beautiful energy to share. I trust that it's going to come through just by us being in the same space energetically together, and that the words will land where the words need to land. But the energy of alignment and cohesion and collaboration and excitement and joy and potential bubbling over, I trust that energy is going to come through in this podcast today. And then the words will just be what the words are. Okay. New moon in Aries. We'll start with that one. So Aries, I have an Aries sun, and they're fiery, They're feisty. They have a lot of energy. The Aries want to dive in and do it and go. They don't always want to put a plan together and figure it out. They're like, let's just go do the thing. And they are so wired for beginnings because they're the first sign of the zodiac. I believe they're wired for beginnings. This is such general statements about Aries. They can be stubborn, but I believe it's because they can feel or sense the shift in the cycle, and they just want to go into it. They don't want to have to go back and look and review. They just want to go and do and create and express, and then the proof will be in what they create from that. I believe the fact that we have 2 new moon in Aries this year, specifically as Saturn and Pluto are moving, I believe we have 2 new moons in Aries to give us a start, a little bit of assessment time, and then another start, so that we do get to jump right in and try something and see how it works and figure it out and come back after one lunar cycle and look at it with fresh eyes. Is there something we want to tweak? Is there something that, looking at it in review, we realize could have been streamlined, or there could have been a more cohesive collaboration, or there could have been a more inclusive way of stepping into whatever that thing is that we're beginning in the new moon in Aries? Could we be more intentional? So we're going to start something, and then a month later, we're going to come back and look at it. And I believe when we have our new moon in Aries next month, the precision, the accuracy, the thoughtfulness, the care of whatever it is we're looking at now to begin is going to be next level. It's going to be deeper and kinder and more long-term visioning. Is that a word? We're going to have more depth to whatever it is we're beginning. So if you're watching this, you're like, I don't even know what I'm beginning. What cycle ended and what cycle is starting? Perhaps this month for you is about, okay, I've been maybe going on autopilot, or I've just been following what the energies are guiding me into without specifically claiming or being intentional in guiding my path, in stepping into something with clear focus. So this morning, for example, I was working on a project, and I had written notes to myself a week ago because I knew this past week would be busy. And one of the notes I wrote was clear intention as I publish this thing. And when I published it today, and I'm like, oh, I didn't have a clear intention. I went back to my journal and I wrote a clear intention down of, okay, this is the intention behind this publishing. And so maybe this video for you is a reminder. Are you being intentional in how you are moving through your life, in how you are stepping into this shift of consciousness that is beginning? Do you have a vision for where it is you want your life to go? Do you have a way that you see that things could go that would just be elevated and, oh, like, if I could dream and it could be better, it would be like this. That's intention. It's not just, yeah, it's going to work and it's going to be like this and we're going to blah, blah, blah. What would the elevated consciousness express as? How would you feel it and move it through you? When we're intentional, I feel like we give the energy, we give the flow of our life a pathway that it can then follow, or the flow can move through that pathway, and we're guiding the choices and the navigation of what it is we want to experience while we're here as humans. The default is to follow the flock. The default is to listen to the collective conversation and find our place within that and do what others are doing or follow the rules or try to make sense of. We're so distracted that we don't always feel, what would my life be like if I could dream the best dream into existence? What would it be? How would I be living? Who would I be spending time with? What would I be creating or flowing through me if I truly allowed the most expansive version of myself to exist here in this planet in this time, like, who would I be? So here I am coming back, episode 448, an announcement. And I'm saying, hey, new moon in Aries, we're going to set these intentions because we're still in that energy from Tuesday. We're going to set these intentions and we're going to come back in a month and we're going to assess how we did with setting our intentions with all the other astrology that is shifting. We're going to come back and we're going to see, does it still feel like the highest expression of what I would like to create next? And then we get to redo. We get to next level it. We get to set intentions again in the same start energy of a whole new zodiac cycle. Like, is the universe so kind and generous that they do this for us? They're like, all right, humanity, we know you've got a lot going on. Here's one new moon. I know. You weren't quite ready. You were still cleaning up the other stuff. Okay, here's a second new moon. Ready? Aries, go. That's what is possible for us. If you're listening to this, you're like, Aries, new moon, what is she even talking about? Maybe the nudge to you is take some time. Dive into Google, dive into your social media platforms. Google new moon in Aries. Google 2 new moons in Aries. Google Saturn in Pisces, Pluto in Aquarius. Look up some of these astrological shifts. Just type in astrology March 2023 and see what starts to show up. This is a powerful, beautiful, magical month. So magical. And so I'm here to share some of what that magic is and translate in case it's not your language, because astrology is not my first language. I wish it was. I wish I understood it better. But I understand enough to align with the potential and then to be a bridge in bringing that to you so that you can, consider and perhaps do the same thing. Align with the highest potential also for yourself. All right, new moon in Aries. There's something that just flashed into my awareness as I was speaking, and then it just went right back out again. So I will trust that it's going to come back. New moon in Aries. What was that just came in? Oh, well. Okay, so we have a new moon that just happened on Tuesday. We're going to have another one in a month. And then in between, we have this big shift that is happening. A lot of people are focusing on Saturn moving into Pisces. That doesn't feel as relevant to me. It might to you. So if it does, go look at it. What feels more relevant to me is Pluto in Aquarius. And we're going to take a little time to talk about Pluto moving into Aquarius, because it's like 100 Christmases all happening at the same time. In my world, this is how it feels. I'm like, New Year's, Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, summer parties, grill outs, it's all of it. Just all happening right now. What is Pluto in Aquarius? There's a lot of astrology information that you can look up that will give you some good info for your mind and, science data backup stuff. What I'm going to give you is how I feel it, what it seems to be bringing up in me, and we'll see how it resonates for you. Pluto, in my awareness of it, is the planet of completion, transformation, old dying, new being reborn. In the book that I wrote, Just White Light, that I wrote in January of 2020, right before we went into COVID, right before my birthday, we talked about in that book Pluto being the doorway home. It's the last stop before you complete your soul's experience as being separate from Source, God, One, the universe. You complete your experience and you return to Source. And so Pluto is like this doorway that takes you back home to the origin of all energy, all consciousness. When Pluto moves into a zodiac sign, because it completes its cycle every 250 years or something like that, when it goes all the way around the sun in that cycle of 250 years, It'll move through each of the zodiac signs for 10 to 20 years. And as it comes in, it transforms whatever we're looking at that current period in humanity within that sign. So Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008. Capricorn, the way I understand it, is about structures, foundations, the ways that we do things, the rules that we follow, the hierarchy that holds societies and governments in place, that allows us to do our work. Capricorn is very much about the structure. In 2008, we had a lot of crises happen in those structures. And in the years since then, from then until now, there's been a whole bunch of deconstructing, a whole bunch of death, leading us towards a rebirth in so many different areas of the structures of how humankind works and functions and communicates and exchanges, the rules that we all agree to follow. We've had a tearing down of a lot of that when Pluto has been in Capricorn. 2008, here we are, 2023. This is why I come into the space to say, hey, let's talk. Let's connect in this energy because it's pretty powerful. Pluto moved into Aquarius today. It's going to stay here for 3 months. Just a little taste of Pluto in Aquarius. Then it's going to go backwards into Capricorn. It's going to hang out in Capricorn from June of this year until January of next year. And then Pluto will move into Aquarius. It's going to have a little dance, maybe, I think, somewhere in next year. But by November of next year, it's full on in Aquarius until 2044. 20 plus years. It's a long time. So we're going to be shifting energies as a humanity. We're going to be transforming, having deaths and then a rebirth in the attributes or the energies of Aquarius. So what do you know about those who are Aquarius? I'm an Aquarius sun and an Aquarius moon. We Aquarians, I think all of us have some Aquarius in us. We Aquarians like to contemplate consciousness. We like to philosophize. We like to, I'm speaking for myself, but I think it's a pretty general statement. We like to talk about the universe and the ways that all things fit together, the way perhaps the Earth fits within the solar system, not just physically as a science experience, but energetically, consciously. Like, how does it all work? We like to contemplate, and many of us look at the future. What's the next thing that's going to be happening or coming? That brings us into technology, because technology has been the next thing for Aquarius for a long time. Technology has been what has helped us to communicate and to come together, which Aquarius is very much about bringing together those individuals into community. How do we weave as a humanity, instead of having a hierarchy like in Capricorn, we're all going to be in our silos and we're all going to report up and we're going to have structures that build up. Aquarius is like, flatten it all. How do we work together in circles? How do we work together in communities? How do we each bring our gifts, our own unique weirdness and awesomeness and quirkiness? How do we bring that into community and allow safe spaces for everyone to express who they are individually? And then find ways where we can work together. After Aquarius is going to be Pluto in Pisces. So 2044, Pluto starts moving into Pisces. Pisces is, we are one. We work together. We are one world. We are one humanity. We are infinitely, intricately the same. And when we all have the same goal, we can do anything. Capricorn, hierarchy. Pisces, oneness. Aquarius is the bridge. Aquarius says, okay, we've torn it all down. We made a huge mess of all the structures. Everything's in shambles. Okay, people, humans, humankind, how do we start coming together in our strengths and our weaknesses and finding the ways that we overlap and support each other and strengthen as a humanity so we can build something that is going to be tighter and stronger and unified. It's going to take us a while. We got 20 years. Do you know how long 20 years is? It's a generation. It's a long time. We have 20 years to play in this energy. So why am I telling you this right now? Because the taste of it is beginning. Because we're just stepping into it now, and we have 3 months to kind of feel, what is the potential of Pluto and Aquarius feel like? What's moving and shaking and transforming and breaking down in our own individual lives? Can we focus on that individually? What's shaking and happening here, now, in me and you? Like, how do we bring it down to this micro level? Clear our own stuff. Come back into alignment with our strengths. Activate our voices, our gifts, our knowings, our intuition, our ability to trust that the future is good, that we want to participate in that future. How do we allow all of that to bubble individually? So that as we start to come together next year, we've been doing our individual work. We've been doing the death process in clearing out the gunk in our Pluto and Aquarius energy. We've got this time in Capricorn, June to early next year. We've got this time in Capricorn to go, okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Those 3 months were a lot. I'm going to have to sit with all of this for 9 months or so. And then by next year, we'll be ready. We'll be ready. And so Pluto moves into Aquarius next year, and we're like, okay, all right, I am on my path now. I am ready to start. It's time for me to do this thing that I got a taste of last March through June. If you're listening to this video, it's because you want to be one of those that hears this early, that gets this message in March, so that you have these 3 months to be aware, to have your intuition go bing, 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 bing. Oh, it's this, it's that. I'm tearing down this and reforming. You are craving that early activation, that early remembering, the switch being turned on inside of you now, so that you really maximize these 3 months of all the energies. And you're aware, and you're receiving, and you're giving, and you're beginning. And okay, June through early next year, you're like, oh, whoo, all right. And by the time January arrives next year, it's go for you. You're ready. So when everyone else is starting to fall apart around you, you're strong, you're centered. You're able to stand in a community and go, you guys, this is good. All the crumbling that is happening, this is good. We're ready for this. We are shifting consciousness. We are evolving to a different version of a humankind. And so I've been preparing for this. I've been doing my work, local community, larger community, global community. I've been doing my work so that I can stand here and hold steady energetically for you. If you're watching this video, it's because you wanted that early notification. It's like, I was just at Disney World with our family, and they have the lightning lane. It used to be called the Fast Pass. There's all the people that stand in standby for all the lines. And then you get the lightning lane. You pay extra, but you come in early. You go all the way up to the front of the line. And then they open the gate, and the lightning lane people walk right up, and they go stand in the line right up at the front, and the standby have to stand and wait. There's something about, it doesn't feel like anyone can fast track Pluto and Aquarius. So this is not a fast track or fast pass. That is not it at all. You're going to have to go through the thing, through the work, through the portal, through the fire. You're going to have to go through it in order to become who you are going to become in Pluto and Aquarius energy. There's no bypassing it. Like, you got to go in the lane. You got to go. You can't jump out and jump back in and be ahead of other people. You've got to follow that pathway, that flow of synchronicities and alignment that will arrive you at the place you want to be next year. When Pluto goes into Aquarius in January, you can't bypass it. But the lightning lane, it's like, I want to know early. I want to pay a little more with my time, with my attention, with my awareness. I want to pay a little more here, back here, so that by the time the ride is ready, You've done all the steps, you've moved through all the things, and you're standing there ready to get on the ride. Or ready to open the door and hold space for all the others who are going to be coming after you that are moving more slowly or struggling with the shifts, or their consciousness isn't able to the way that you were preparing yourself to do. Consciousness and humanity. If you're still watching, it's because you wanted to receive this nugget. When we talk about Capricorn hierarchy and structures, there's a 3D feeling to that. We build. I used to be in construction. I did marketing for construction, and so I learned how to understand the physical building of things. You have to have the concrete on the bottom to hold the weight of all the things that will be put on top of it. You have to have the engineering that allows each of the levels and the strength of the tension. I don't even know what words I'm using. You have to make sure the base can hold all the things. And so it's a very 3D thinking. Pluto in Capricorn has been it has to be logical and sequential. And if we see it, we can build it and it will become this. Aquarius is not that. Aquarius is like Field of Dreams. If I see it, if I believe it, it's Disney. I just came from Disney. If I can see it and create it in my imagination and bring it into form as a visual, as a feeling, people will then come because it's a vibration, a frequency that they can sense. It's not 3D. It's not linear. That's Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn is let's break down all of those 3D structures that have held humanity in place. How we use money, how we work as a government, how the physical construct of Earth has been like the known structures. Pluto in Aquarius is consciousness, imagination, ideas, the frequency, the vibration of energy. Pluto in Aquarius is astrology, Reiki, energy work, tarot reading, energetics is probably the best way to describe it. So what it looks like as consciousness is transformed. Pluto in consciousness would say, I'm going to deconstruct what you believe consciousness to be as a humanity, and we're going to rebuild consciousness into something that you won't recognize. It will be so different than what it was. That's Pluto. It's death and rebirth, bringing something new from the old, but it doesn't look anything like the old. So what does that mean? I can feel it in my heart. I'm like, oh, it's so exciting. As an Aquarius, I'm like, yes, transform consciousness. Bring all of humanity into a new way of thinking about the reality of all. For other signs, they're like, no, no. Consciousness is not going to be torn apart and rebuilt. No. The fear is that if our minds can't hold it, visualize it, understand the nuances of it, like a Rubik's Cube, if we can't look at it and see how it all fits together, even if it's all out of whack and all the colors are on all the different sides, we know somebody can put that Rubik's Cube back into the colors it's supposed to be and the shape and everything it's supposed to be. Pluto in Aquarius is, what if that Rubik's Cube is just a construct our mind has projected, and when we hold it, it could just dissolve into dust. So there isn't even a Rubik's Cube to hold at all. It's just what? It's like the Matrix. Is this entire, but I don't want to say that because there's such a cult following or idea about the Matrix. What I like about the Matrix is it shows the layers of reality that are all different. And the perspective, the choices we make inform the way we understand reality. There was a new one that just came out that won an Oscar, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it looks like a mushroom trip kind of movie, but it also shows how reality is malleable. It's what are we focusing on, and as we focus on it, it expands or contracts. As we layer our awareness with an intention, we can transform the experience we are having. We can portal drop into another place. We can be here in this form and understand our relationship to another person, but then the reality shifts and we're not actually that. Mind-blowing. Can you see how many humans will not be ready for this shift in consciousness? The fact that you can sit here and listen or watch. If you're listening, you might want to go to YouTube and actually watch, because there will be something very powerful for you in seeing my eyes as you hear this that will help it land even more firmly in your physical human form, in your consciousness, in your embodiment. So if any part of you is like, wah, go to YouTube, watch the video and look into my eyes, and it will really help. The steadiness that I hold will help you. When consciousness begins to do this, because it will, and we'll be like, what is happening? When that starts, humanity as a collective species on Earth will have some rumbles. So it's going to start over the next 3 months. There's going to be some big rumbles. And we're going to go, what is happening? Everything feels so chaotic. Time is speeding up. I'm not able to manage all the things I used to be able to manage. Everybody needs me. All these things. Like, reality will feel like it's squeezing us. And so it's going to feel contracted and tight over the next few months. This is the little gift that the universe, that our souls, that Gaia, Source, all are giving us to say, okay, let's just give you a tiny little taste of it so you can have the feeling of that squeeze, and then we're going to loosen the energy. We're going to allow you to stretch out. It's like you do a really intense yoga class and you feel your body going, what are we doing? It's like my son, he hates leg day at the gym. It's like 10 leg days all in the same workout. And you're like, what even is this? What is happening? And then in June, the squeeze lessens, loosens, relaxes. We kind of ease out. So it's like, okay. I'm going to take the summer and I'm going to think about what that even was. What was that? And we have this pause in time from June until January to kind of stretch reality, feel things, understand, pause, talk, do some research, let our minds realign with the squeeze that happened in these 3 months. So we'll have this regroup. It's like sort of a shavasana in yoga. You have that really intense yoga, and then you have kind of this shavasana time, and then you get to go home and take a shower or a bath and talk to your partner or your children about how crazy the yoga class was and how you can't believe you were that strong and you did those things. And we get to have this integration, time to reflect. The energy will just sort of move and flow, and we'll just feel ourselves relaxing and settling, but we'll have that knowing that something happened in March to June. It'll be like a little, kind of like how we are now with COVID. Oh, that's right. We had this experience as a humanity where we're all on lockdown. Did that happen? Did we do that? Because right now it doesn't feel like we did that. It's that, wait, was that real? Did that happen? We'll have that same sort of feeling. And then at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, it won't be as tight a contraction, but it's going to begin again. That feeling of I don't quite understand. Things are different, but it's not making sense. It's going to be that same sort of feeling like we're going to have now over the next few weeks. And then we're going to co-create from there. None of us know yet what Pluto and Aquarius will look like because nobody is in charge. And that will terrify us for a while. Nobody's in charge. Humanity is in charge. All of humanity. All of us. The billions of souls that are sitting in human bodies. We will all co-create what Pluto and Aquarius becomes. What humanity on Earth becomes in Pluto and Aquarius energy. Do you hear that? As my timer goes off. That is so funny. I forgot I had that timer. Let me quickly turn that off so it doesn't do it again. Okay. How long do we have as a humanity on this planet? We're the ones deciding it. We're the ones using the resources of Earth. At some point, Gaia is going to go, you're making a mess of it. I'm going to have to do something to change the vibration because you're not evolving with me. Or we start to remember in this consciousness morphing and shifting in reality, becoming something different. We start to remember that we chose to come here as souls in human bodies to collaborate with Gaia, to walk this planet and delight in her beauty and her creative expression, to contribute something back that is meaningful and valuable to the consciousness of Gaia. We'll start to remember she's the queen bee in the hive. And we've been so busy making all the honey in our hive that we've forgotten to listen to the queen, the overriding consciousness that holds the hive together. We've been starting to divide and pick on each other and want to go this way and do this. And while I don't think that has been wrong, I think that has been part of what has created the momentum that has quickly moved us to this place of consciousness being ready to evolve. I think all of it has been right and good and in alignment with the overall energy and consciousness of our planet. We've been making a big mess of things because it's generated more energy. But now we're here, about to get this taste of what humanity is going to be like when we're in Pluto and Aquarius energy, when consciousness starts to evolve. And part of our evolution is a remembering that Gaia is the one that holds us all here. Not just Gaia, the physical planet that we believe is having climate change, which it is and it looks like it, and also that's our reality construct right now. When we start to tune into the thought form of consciousness that is Gaia, the soul, the creative expression that birthed that is Gaia. When we start to remember that and we find our place individually within that remembering, our collaboration with Gaia will be different. The way that we will communicate and connect with her will be different. The closest example I can offer is of the tree of life in Avatar, where everything that lives and breathes and exists in that world is connected to the tree of life. And when the tree of life changes or is in that movie destroyed, everything else changes too. I don't believe any of us have the ability to end, to deconstruct, to destroy Gaia. I just don't believe that. I think we give ourselves way too much power when we think that. And I don't believe there are aliens or other planets or evil energies in the universe that want to come here to destroy Gaia. I don't believe that at all. I believe the consciousness of our planet is evolving, and she is choosing to move to an expression that is different. And so we as a humanity are being invited to transform with her, to reconnect to her in a deeper consciousness way. And so here is Pluto in Aquarius, which is all about consciousness and reality, saying, let me help you, humans. The astrology of the universe is coming around Gaia and us and saying, hey, let's take a pause. Let's do some reconfiguring. Let's shift our understanding of reality and come into this new way of being. How's that going to happen? We have to have some death and rebirth of ideas, some death and rebirth of consciousness. Our energy, our understanding of energy is going to go through a transmutation, a metamorphosis. It's going to... So it's going to look pretty messy for a while. And a lot of that is our minds trying to hold on to an old construct that our hearts and our energy bodies and our souls are already preparing for. Yeah. Aquarius tunes into the future, tunes into what's coming. And I believe my greatest work, my greatest gift is this ability to remind myself and others of our connection to Gaia, of our love for this planet, the reason why we as souls came here in the first place. Yes, it's for relationships and evolution and emotions and understanding of being the infinite in the human form, yes, and we came here to play with Gaia, to experience the consciousness of this planet that we knew was going to reach her mastery while we were here. We knew this was going to happen. And so a lot of what the next few years will be is that remembering of why we came here. That remembering of the signal, the pulse, the frequency that was so magnetic we just couldn't say no as souls. We're like, of course I'll come. Okay, one more time. Okay, 10 more times. I'm going to go. I'm going to play. I'm going to be the soul in the physical form, and let's do it. It's been a lot. It's been a lot for souls to experience to bring us to this moment. And so it will probably be a lot for us to tear all that down and be able to move into the next evolution. What we don't know is how long that process, that alchemical process will take. How many of us will do the lightning lane, move through it really quickly, and then be standing at the front of the ride and going, come on, everybody. We don't know. We don't know how much resistance we're going to experience. We don't know how our minds that are so entrenched in this way of it being, how our minds are going to handle all of this new information and remembering. And so it's going to be a thing that we're going to have to walk through together. If you're still watching this, I think you're in the lightning lane. I'm pretty sure you're in the lightning lane. Okay, so there are a few nuggets that I'm going to offer. I have some notes because I knew I'd forget because there was so much energy that I wanted to translate for you. There are a few nuggets that I believe will support you. When I stopped doing the podcast, I took a break for a while. I was doing a lot of other things. And then in January, I got this nudge. It's like, wait, do a Gaia's Love daily. You can just do a little blast video of 30 seconds and it'll be your voice and a thought for the day and some music. And it'll just be a little nugget of love that I translate the human journey on Gaia, and I bring in little thoughts of contemplation that you can just take into your day and see what it brings up in you. And so those have been really fun to create. It still feels a little unknown, like I don't know what I'm going to be saying I tune in once a week and I write the thoughts down for the week and what the songs are. And then I just create them each morning and send them out on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And so if any of what I'm saying resonates for you, you may want to follow me on one of those platforms and just look for that little ping, the energetic, steady ping that you're going to feel when you see my message come through as just a little like, it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. When you hear my voice and the steadiness in it, it's going to be the same thing as going onto YouTube and looking me in the eye and going, okay, we're good. We're good. I hear Viv, we're good. She's good. We're good. Like, this reality shift is happening and we're all doing it together. Gaia's Love Daily is just a little blip of love from Gaia, from me, from Source, that will be a beautiful gift. So those are all available for you every day. There's a library of them already starting. The music holds a frequency. There's a reason that music is with that post. The heart coherence, and I don't know music the way musicians and musical artists do. I can just feel this is the frequency that will match what is needed for this day, and with all the astrology that's moving and collective shifts that are happening and whatever our mind is wrestling with, like this. That's why I only go a week out at a time. So the thought, hearing my voice, and the music will just spark something in you, and then contemplate it. Take it to the next level in your own journey. But it will be a steady frequency for you to attune to if you need it. And it's free. So that is number 1. Gaia's Love Daily. What else did I have on there? New Moon in Aries. I just did a New Moon in Aries video. So if what I'm saying resonates, you're like, okay, I actually want some support on how do I be intentional in aligning with the new moon energy of Aries, which you can do whenever you hear this. You don't even have to do it in the next few weeks. You can tune into this months or years down the road, and it will still be available for you. The New Moon in Aries video, I'll put the link in the description. You can go watch that. And then there's also an extended, and there's a new moon meditation that is one of the most beautiful flows of consciousness and energy that I've ever felt move through me. And I've created some beautiful meditations. I was listening to myself saying what I was saying. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. And I re-listened to it this morning in the bathtub. I listened to it. I matched it to the album by East Forest called In, where he has sound bites, doorway 1, doorway 2, doorway 3, doorway 4. And I describe how as we move through this energy over the next few years, we're going to be standing at different doorways. And the music and what I was seeing and translating are just so beautiful. So beautiful. The visualization, what it'll activate in you are such beautiful gifts. So if this is bringing something up in you, watch the New Moon in Aries video for free. See if it resonates. If it does, it's $33 to get the extended and to do the meditation. And then you'll be on your way. So that's one thing. New Moon, Pluto and Aquarius, we've talked about. Oh, okay. Here's the other thing. This is so exciting. This is very, very exciting. I mean, all of this is exciting, but this is really exciting. And also I created a video in February that is not part of the Gaia's Love podcast that was called Life Update and 2023 Calendar. And there's a lot of information in that video just about the work I do and what I see the calendar, how it aligns with Pluto and Aquarius, all of that. Not as deep as we've gone here, not even close. But there's a lot of good information in there. So that is another resource that's available. If you're listening to me, you're like, I need to know more. So you can go to my YouTube channel and you'll see that. Life Update 2023 Calendar. Okay, so this is why I'm calling this podcast an announcement. Because today I uploaded my book, An Announcement, to Amazon. It is currently in review. I'm trusting that it will be published on today's date. That is my hope. If not, within the next couple of days, Amazon moves the books through the review process. An announcement I talked about in the last episode completed. I think I completed the audio downloads in October, probably right after, right around when I did the last podcast. And then it took me a while to translate them and then to put them into a book. In January, I read every one of the chapters, one chapter at a time each day, into a Facebook group for an exchange of $111. It's called The Experience of an Announcement. And so you get to receive the transmission as I receive it. So when I meditate, like I told you in the last episode, when I receive a book, I close my eyes, I meditate, and then I hear and see and feel like a movie the story, and I record it out of my mouth into my phone. And so it's like a transmission of energy, and I capture it in my phone. And then I go transcribe it and I put it into an actual physical book. So in the experience of an announcement, I read to you so you can feel how it comes through me, and you can receive the transmission through my voice in the same way that I received it. It was so good. It was so beautiful. I absolutely loved being able to read my book into that space. It will be available for always as long as I'm here alive. It will be available, or as long as Facebook exists. And then if I have to, I'll move it to a different space. But yeah, so you can exchange and go into the Facebook group and listen to a chapter a day and have the same experience I did. Or like a couple of my friends have, you can just go in and binge it. I think my friend Sally did it in 3 days. She listened to the whole book in 3 days. There's something about hearing my voice read it to you that will just be so beautiful. So if you like audios, that's where the audiobook will be. I don't have any plans to record it again at this time. It's just going to be in that space. And you get a signed copy of the book too, the print book, if you decide you want to do that. So much. The print book will be up very soon, and it will be $11.11. Eventually I will put it on Kindle, so it'll be available in that format. It is a love story about these two souls. They're young, they're in their late 20s as the story is told, and they find each other, and then they have a mission of something they're here on earth to do. And so as they remember what their mission is and then go into alignment to shift reality and do the thing they came here to do, they go through this whole journey. And their relationship with Gaia, the consciousness of Gaia, their relationship with their soul tribe, their relationship with each other, souls in human forms, is a teaching. In the story, you will learn so much about energy and consciousness. It will help you to reshape and restructure your understanding of reality. And it will show a potential timeline or story that may or may not happen. I don't know. We will see. It is a beautiful story about love. Not just human love, but soul love, Gaia love, universal love, consciousness, source love. It is absolutely stunning, and I can't take any credit for it except as the transcriber, the receiver and the writer, the scribe of the story. It is not my story, but it is a beautiful, beautiful story. So an announcement is available. An announcement, this podcast episode happening on the day that Pluto goes into Aquarius, with all the information and energy that just flowed through me to you, is the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake that is this book. Yeah. And then just from a human level, okay, Viv, I get all this. This sounds great. And how am I going to get through the squeeze that is the next 3 months? How am I going to do this? If you start to feel that squeeze, if you have a moment where you're like, oh, then I would suggest going to the 2023 calendar video, the life update and calendar video, and listen to all the offerings that I talk about, my sessions, the energy gym, awakening the guides, all the things. And you'll know if there's something that resonates. You will feel a little like, oh, that. Let me learn about that. And then perhaps I am meant to be one of those that stands at the entrance of the ride at the end of the lightning lane and says, it's okay, I've got you, you're here. Or maybe I'm the person at the front of the lightning lane who says, do you want to do standby? This actually feels more true. Do you want to do the standby, or do you want to use your lightning lane pass and move up ahead? I'm going to be right here holding this sign that says, which one do you want? And help you through if the lightning lane is the choice that you make. It does not mean you will not do the work at all. It does not mean that. It just means energetically you're syncing yourself up and moving through it now instead of waiting until later. That's all that it means. It is not a bypass. The resources, the offerings that I have are tools that help you in the lightning lane. They're little guideposts, milestones that say, okay, you've got this, and now this, and let's do this. And do you want to do this on your own, or do you want to do this in community? Do you need me involved helping you, or are you self-guided and you're ready to do this on your own? So all the resources that I have available are to help you along that path. Awakening the Guides Live 2023 was so good. Mind-blowingly good. The messages that were coming through about Pluto and Aquarius for each of the segments, body and relationship to ourselves and our feminine, masculine energetics and our relationship to Gaia, like each of those modules through the lens of Pluto and Aquarius, it was just next level information. It was amazing. And that is a self-guided program, the new content and the old content. So if Awakening the Guides is calling to you as you hear this right now, trust it, sign up, move into it on your own. The Infinite Embodiment Pathways group, Class 04, is going to begin in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. It's going to be every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern for 11 sessions, 11 weeks. So we're going to walk through Pluto and Aquarius, this little squeeze. We're going to walk through it together. Almost the entire 3 months we'll be walking through it together. You'll be doing all the work of awakening the guides, but you'll do it in this small group. 4 to 6 of us, plus me. 4 to 6 of us meeting on Zoom and talking through all of the modules, all of the shifts that are happening, holding steady. This is Lightning Lane maxed. We'd be doing IEP, Infinite Embodiment Pathways. I'll put the link to that also below. And then the rest of it, it's all available. Go to my website. You'll find it. You'll know. You'll just know whatever the next thing is. There's so many resources. I am not the only one with resources. There are so many beautiful, talented guides that are just waiting. Like, this is the work that we've been doing, so we would be at this moment ready to support humanity as reality and consciousness starts to deconstruct and morph and evolve. Don't be afraid. Be excited. Anticipate what is going to be happening, what is arriving. Humanity already knew. Souls infinite souls in human bodies already knew that this time would arrive. Now it's here. We're going to see what we do with it. Okay. Guys, love episode 448, an announcement. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, month. I don't know when I'll be back. When I'm ready, I'll come back into the space and we'll see what's next. But for now, anchoring in this energy today felt really important. So have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in Awakening the Guides, an 8-week online self-guided journey of remembering why you chose to come play here in Gaia. You can learn more at viviennegerard.com under I Am Creativity. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.